first of all, our ancestors grew most of the food that they ate because the plantation owners didn't feed them properly. So they would have what we call a provisional garden. And after they worked in the field, they would have their own little garden and they would grow their own food. So one of the things I brought here today, and I encourage you guys to take some of these. And guess what these are from, Neil? Guess what these see? Whippoorwill. Whippoorwill. And tell them, when did you give me those seeds, Neil? Before you left Extension, right? And you left Extension at least
in 2015.
Okay, Neil was our ag agent when I first started there, and Neil gave me these whippoorwill peas, and they have a strong history. So once you start growing these, you see, I got all of these in 2 days. That's just 2 days worth of grabbing them. And what you said was true, Neil. Once you plant them, they go keep growing and they go come back every single year. And you don't have to even plant them, they're gonna come back. Because what these actually do is they drop the seeds. And so they are actually opening up. And if I don't go ahead and hurry up and harvest these, they're gonna, you hear that? They're dry now. So if I don't harvest these soon, they're gonna split open. And once they split open, they're gonna start to drop seeds. And when they start to drop those seeds, that is where we get all of those plants all over the front yard. So they're in my flower bed everywhere. So I just don't even plant them anymore. I just wait for them to pop up. And the nice thing about these whippoorwills are you can eat them fresh when they're green, and you can also eat them dried. And so I would suspect that our ancestors, what they would have done was to eat these fresh, because of course when you eat them fresh, they cook much quicker. But then to sustain themselves throughout the winter time, they would dry these. And then they would have these dried peas to eat off of all winter long. And then they would also have these same peas, which they could plant. So when you really start to study the history of our food, you see how our ancestors survived, and they survived healthy. And yes, they had hogs and chickens, but it wasn't like what we're thinking, oh, they got a whole big spread of ribs. Most of that meat was used for seasoning, and they would have maybe a great big event, maybe at Christmas or something like that, and they would have more meat. But for the most part, they lived off of vegetables, a lot of vegetables, all of which they grew.